Hey guys, in this video I'm going to explain to you how I can replace your sales team with an army of AI agents that book over 150 meetings per month. But there's a twist here. It's not just me walking you through this end-to-end workflow, it's me on a sales call pitching the end-to-end workflow to two other guys, and spoiler alert, I end up selling it to them for $6,000. Let's go, let's get into it. As you can see, it starts with a list here. So actually it starts with this. So basically it's a form. You submit your form, you submit what you're looking for. In this case,
This is us.
client,
We submit this, or the client submits this.
you submit this, yeah.
Yeah.
So you submit like, description, like who you are, description, product offering, yeah, target company sector, etc., like target company size, location, like revenue, etc. And then basically what it does is it pulls the list. So as you can see, it pulled 84 items, but in your case, it'd pull like thousands of items from a list. And we get, like, for example, in this list, it could be like, basically the things that we basically need is the prospect first name, last name, the company that they're at. Like those are the main things that we need. Everything else we can figure out themselves. Oh, and LinkedIn email address. LinkedIn URL, which is Apollo usually has that. So that's not an issue. And then from there, it runs through the company intelligence radar, which basically, see, it pulls in all, this is the input here. So on the left-hand side, this is what goes into the agent. And, basically it's like all this information here. And then on this side, we get nice, clean, organized data from a Perplexity search, which is our own custom Perplexity bot that we built. And as you can see, we got, like, for this client here, what do we got here? It's industry type. We got their URL, region, revenue, size, even size category, description, 3 public schools, the network of charter schools. Cool. We got some other functions here, public education. Okay, cool. Okay, and then what's next? Okay, next we got the market research assistant here. So this is like, okay, now that we have all the company ICP here, now I want you to write a report. So it writes the report here. So you can see it's this long report. And at the end of the report, we ask it, additionally, relationships with suppliers. Here we go, yeah. So what is like, what is the relation to the ICP in terms of transactions and payments? So what it found is that relations to this, the procurement of solar panels and other necessary equipment likely involves substantial financial transactions. Efficient management of these payments through applicable transaction services ensures timely project completion, adherence to blah, 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 thereby complying with companies' reliability and so on and so forth. Yeah, so it's got a lot of stuff in there. It talks about, how they use payments to pay for their supplier stuff in their operations. So, okay, cool. Now this is the part where it assigns a score. For this lead here is B Core Energy. Score rationale: they have intensive engagement with payments and transaction services that aligns with their offering to optimize their payment processes and saving costs, enhancing customer relationships. Cool. So then we got, basically we put that score back into the spreadsheet, and then we do a check, and we basically check, like, if they are a score of, like, greater to or equal than 3, which means that they're qualified. Then we do basically we get into the nitty gritty and we do some scraping on the person. So we use some API calls to basically scrape their post activity and their comment activity. We clean the data, synthesize it, we put it into this thingy here. This thingy here basically takes the data and, like, what does it do? It ranks it. So it ranks it based on, like, okay, we have like a bunch of posts. Which post would most resonate with this person? So in this case here, we got this Levi person. They had an amazing time in Texas, reconnecting with familiar faces despite blah, blah, blah. It was wonderful to see everybody there. So the AI provides a rationale for why this is, like, number 1. This post showcases Levi's teamwork, spirit, and professional connections, highlighting his active participation in industry. Personalization hook. It even provides, like, suggestive personalization hook, engaging with Levi by discussing shared experiences at industry events or by emphasizing importance of teamwork in industry sectors. Cool. That's pretty good. And then this guy here, so basically it's a bunch of agents all work together. So this agent here then looks at that personalization suggestions and creates these messages. So it creates 2 types of initial messages because this client is sending out messages via connection request. You know how you send a connection request and it's you can provide like 200, 300 characters. So that's why
Yeah.
we have, yeah, so that's why we have that. So this one here is 200 characters, and this one here is like I think it's like 400 characters. So because like if you send an in-mail, then an initial message too is good for an in-mail basically because you have more character limits for it. So for
So
example,
basically, yeah.
yeah.
So
So
basically, basically, you're essentially saying you've built this tool that can, um, provide a significantly more refined lead list that then can reach out automatically on our behalfs in
yeah,
a personalized way.
yeah, we
With
call it hyper-personalized.
What was the end of it?
The end of it is it creates the messages.
Yeah.
That's it for that workflow. The next, it puts those messages into a spreadsheet. It basically stores them in a repository. It can store it anywhere. It can store it in HubSpot. It can store it in spreadsheets. It can store it in Airtable. Anything that has API connectors, we can as long as it has an API connector, we can automatically store the data wherever. The next workflow is the sending of the messages. So basically, it will like, and do you guys want your messages? Like you said, you have most of the prospects are on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then what it would do, and it would basically send a connection request. And when it sends a connection request to the prospect, it puts in that initial message that's 200 characters. It throws it in there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if they accept it and they respond, then the AI agent at that point can respond and speak.
Well, we've with our clients, we found that it's best that if the lead responds, then it's better that you guys take over and provide that human touch. We can do the auto DMing, we can do that, but LinkedIn has like pretty crazy limits, and we don't want to even come close to those limits. If you understand what I mean.
Meaning they detect like the AI agent and then.
Correct. That's exactly it. Yeah. So we find basically the agent will keep running. It will just like it makes like a sequence. So it has those three messages, right? So it sends the first one. If the person accepts and doesn't respond, no problem. It sends the follow-up. And if they still don't respond, whenever X day happens, this is configurable based on whatever you guys want. Like for example, if you want the follow-up, first follow-up to be 3 days later, it'll be 3 days later. If you want it to be 4 days later, it'll be 4 days later. So we can configure it. Yeah. And then the second follow-up will be whatever time after that. 5 days, 3 days, whatever.
Yeah.
It's completely configurable. Yeah.
And then you could do this again, like on the email side is obviously less complex.
Oh yeah, much less. Yeah, we have.
So you have people going into spam.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah.
How do you avoid that?
I mean, it's the same thing with everywhere, right? Like emails, all emails basically go to spam. Even the biggest companies' emails go to spam. So I mean, the way that we do this is you have multiple email addresses, and we just send them like every week. We just rotate email addresses basically.
But are you linking us up with instantly, or you build this all like proprietary, like you replicate it?
This is proprietary, but we can connect it to whatever systems you need it to be connected.
No, it doesn't necessarily. I don't care one way or the other. I guess. Do you have data that that shows kind of how it's performing to track everything?
Yeah, we have early results that basically show like, for example, like non-personalized messages, they get response rates of like 2 to 5%. Ours are getting response rates in the 30%. So
I was saying like specifically for us, right? Like let's say we're onboarded, right? We're doing it with you. Will we see like a dashboard or something along those metrics?
If you want one, sure. We can do some analytics for you. Absolutely, yeah. Just to let you know, Anna, like the bigger the scope here, the more work essentially. So, but we can do that absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys, that's it. The discussion does continue for another 20 minutes, just talking about other technical details or details related to the business, or them asking clarifying questions. It's not relevant for the purpose of this video, but what you do need to know is that we ended up selling them on that, building them on the custom implementation. We ended up also building a front end as well, because we can do not only automations, but we can build front end portals as well and connect everything together. So if you're looking for a custom implementation, then there's a link down below and you can hit us up. Or if you're looking to learn end-to-end automations, then we have a school.com community, and you can click the link down below and sign up there. Thanks, guys, and let's catch you in the next one.